For small children, and I think this begins before birth, it is important to get exposed to some kind of sound. So growing up in complete silence is not a good idea, because we need to hear sound, not only to communicate with each other, but also to kind of orientate. So much of our orientation is auditory. We don't know this in daily life, but in such a room, for example, the sound is completely different than in a church. So if you close your eyes and you speak in such a room, you know that you're in a strange room. And if you're in a church, for example, and if you hear the sound, you can close your eyes and you know there's lots of reverberation. And so part of our orientation in our world is acoustically. So it's very important to get stimuli, auditory stimuli. The same is true for communicating, for language. It's very important for young children to hear language, to hear sound, and to hear voices. Not only sound, like machinery or whatever, but language, voices. For example, the voice of the mother in the beginning, because of the voice of the father during pregnancy is very soft, so the child almost can't hear it, except the father is very loud. So it's the voice of the mother, and after birth, then the language of the people around it. And to acquire language, to learn how to speak, you need to hear and you need to understand this. And this is why we need a good conversational level. So the noise level must be okay, must not be too loud and must not be too soft. And another important thing is that it is not disturbed by background noise. Because for children it is much more difficult to distinguish between the sound source, for example, the mother, the voice of the mother, and the background noise. For us, it's quite easy to filter out language out of some distracting noise. For children, it's much more difficult because they didn't learn this. It's a task that you learn during the first years of life. And at the age of 8, for example, you're still not perfect in that. So when you're hearing, when lots of people are talking at the same time, then you cannot you cannot understand the single voice anymore. So you maybe hear bits and pieces, yes, no, but that's all. So it's not a flow of language, and you cannot really separate these streams of sounds. It's not possible, especially not for young children.